how should I approach the situation? It's not so popular with everybody. It's a little bit unpopular with some people. But Nick Fuentes, they said that he just said on his show last night. He said, "Man, I wish I knew how to talk to Eggy again because I miss Eggy so much, and me and Eggy should link up." Is it time for the three-man panel? Me, Nick Fuentes, and Colby Brandt. We're gonna link up and save America for our three-person presidential campaign. We'll draw straws, who's who. I'm old enough for president, so maybe I could do that one. They can figure out other shit out. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that have some problems with it, but Nick Fuentes is going live to 800,000 live people, and he's saying, "Gosh, I wish I knew where Eggy was at. I miss Eggy so much. He's so intelligent. I hope he's not drunk in a closet somewhere and seething about Indians or something." And I don't know. I mean, it's a thing that everybody, they have their own opinions about, but he's going live and he's saying this specifically, particularly, is in one of these clips. Could somebody please provide me?
What's his name? Eggy. I feel like Eggy.
Polibro sent $1 you and Evansa.
Listen, see, as a free thinker, I'm really an open book at the end of the day. I just, back in 2017, Donald Trump, he blew up that garage in Syria or wherever that was. I felt a little concerned about that. So I was the utmost and foremost Yang Ganger. I don't even think my Yang Gang song even exists anymore, which has been probably beneficial to my image for whatever the fuck image I still retain in some capacity. Let me see if I can find it anywhere. Probably not on YouTube. Maybe on YouTube. Maybe. Oh shit! No, it is still there.
Every day I swear I'm feeling miserable. Trump sent another $1 trillion to Israel.
He did it!
I can't even pay for my insurance bill.
Oh.
Blah, blah, blah. He is a fat Cheeto shill.
My insurance just went up another 30% this month. This really is out of control. I don't even know. It's really out of control. How there'll ever be it. UBI would be a disaster for the economy. We just gave $20 trillion to Somalians, and all they do is have giant light bulb heads that are humorous to observe. I don't think that, they should, first off, repay all $20 billion of stolen money as reparations to the white man. Then we can start having some serious conversations after that. Now, it was a topic of conversation earlier today. In 2018, $1,000 a month, that was, incredible. It's a little tough right now, even in such an amount of time. Brutal. I will acknowledge, as a man who loves to guzzle dozens of raw eggs, the eggs did come down in price. Thank you, Jump, about that. And they say he did deport many persons. And that's why we lost 2 million jobs. They said it's because he deported. That was the illegals, allegedly. So thank you, Plump, for that. I am not a man who punishes good choices, but it's a little bit of a crunch time, I'm familiar with the rent due as a phrase, right? Like you listen to a rap song, and they're like, "I be shooting, I be looting, I be booting, I be tooting, I be fruit." Like, wow, he's rapping like the rent's due. I'm thinking about it like that, oh, that's kind of where we're at societally speaking. It's a little tough out here. We got to make big, hefty, and possibly risky decisions to make things happen, to make things work for people, But it was funny. There was a guy who I worked with named Jake a few years ago. he quit maybe 2 years ago. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I wanted to play Call of Duty on live stream, but I only had 10,000 followers." So I was like, "Wow, this is for losers, Matt." You probably remember me saying this at some point, actually, because I was seething about it at the time as well, if you were there. Wow, I only got 10,000 followers, bro. That was a fucking waste of my time, man, because I could go and I can make $50 an hour if I work overtime.
I feel like Egg White. What's his name? Eggy?
I'm like, fuck, This is what I used to seethe about on 4chan, actually. It's a little anonymous seething back in the day when I worked at Quickstar back. It was around the Black Pill era, but, I was making top dollar. This was one of the top wages you could possibly earn in my city. I was making about $13 an hour. This is like 2014. Which I think if you run through the inflation calculator is like the same as $40 nowadays. So, I mean, it was pretty decent. It was pretty all right. But I would log on and they'd be like, oh, if you're not making at least $300,000 a year, I would kill myself if you're so worthless and subhuman. And I was like, God damn, my hairline, I was born with a hairline in the fucking back of my head. My teeth are jank. Shit, I'm going blind. My skull is oval shaped, which is not particularly advantageous by my understanding. And I'm out here making money that these anonymous posters are saying is absolutely hideous filth. That is true, Secundus, but in my opinion, $28 an hour got me everything I ever needed. That was about $800 a week or something like that. So Nick Fuentes defended Epstein last week and pulled an Uncle Alex defense for Epstein. Time to bury the hatchet so we could unite and support Alex Brandt or whatever the fuck this guy's name was that I already forgot. This whole internet thing it can be so particular sometimes. I need to hear some real truth real quick before we get to these donations. But I guess I never really answered the question about never advancing. It does make me a bit concerned about the whole, sell us out to India thing that he's very keen on. I know it's also very unpopular to be not love JD Vance. I am completely, like I said, I'm whoever the fuck is gonna make shit work, because it's not working. Okay, I appreciate some of the good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but we're in a failing and falling system. It's dying. There's too much shit going on. Somebody needs to make some big, heavy, strong changes, and I don't care what happened. Like, we need shit flipped on its head for a while, okay? We're already suffering so much. We're already in the worst position we've ever been in. Whatever the fuck needs to happen, it needs to happen, okay? Whoever makes things happen, I'm hearing this a lot, the word viable. Oh, well, who are we going to viably vote for? Who's going to make the viable change? Do you realize that our fucking neck is in a vice grip right now about viable. Well, you can't viably blah 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 blah. Listen, we just gave $20 billion to like 3 Somalians that can't even read. They walk on their knuckles because they were in the right place in the right time to scam retards. So what's viable? What viable to me doesn't even mean anything. I don't care. You can sit there and you could be your by the book kind of guy. You're going to do this with the book and you're doing blah, 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 whatever. You're running off some fucking program from 500 years ago. We're here right now. We're here where everything is destroyed right now. We're living in smoldering ruins right now. We can't eat right now. We're being murdered right now. So viable. I don't care about whatever the fuck kind of fantasy scenario that you're thinking of that's 1870 or 1880. Some nonsense from a million years ago that has nothing to do with what we're living in. The fucking torture and the murder and the violence and everything that we're dealing with right now means nothing about your fucking fantasy situation. Viable. Fuck what's viable. I need some fucking real shit right now. I need fucking feet on the ground viable. Fuck you. That's what I need right now. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's been one of those days where I've just been a little back and forth, But I'm swinging on the vine still. I'm swinging on the vine. They're telling me that, we're about to have a round table with Fresh and Fit, Nick Fuentes, Clavicular, and ISU frat leaders. We're all sitting together at a round table to decide the future of America. And, it's an interesting development that this world has found us in. It's an interesting development, I just, I was gone. I logged off for about, 2 years recently, and I came back, and there's so much going on. It's very particular what's going on right now, and it really just makes a man think and scratch his scalp a little bit. I like to be I like to be a free thinker, and I kind of like to just stick to my own script, at the end of the day. But this is what's being presented to me in the last week here is that Nick Fuentes, the number one most viral man in the entire country, and the man who, the Chicago Times said, most infamous man of the year or whatever. He keeps talking about me every day. He's trying to find me every day and trying to talk to me about the state of the world and trying to relink up or whatever. It's an interesting thing it's an interesting consideration is all. I'm not saying I upvote everything he's got going on, but he certainly seems to be interested in what I've got going on. And, I'm over here slumming it up. If it's, crystal diamond palaces coated in solid gold, caviar dinners, some money for me to steal and run off. I'm about to just go hashtag Chicago Loot Crew, do what I do. Don't tell them that, though. It is what it is. It's, I'm saying it's a time of the world right now. Like I said, I mean, the economy's in a complete free fall. 80% of jobs are fake. Everybody's getting laid off. We're all eating tinfoil to survive. It's just something that's, an invitation to the palace of food when, when we're all being starved in the world is floats in the mind a little bit. It floats around in the mind a little bit is all, Eggy, I like you. Do not get mixed up with Nick Fuentes. He knows how to get in contact. He's trying to pivot to the looks maxing clavicular material since clavicular is mogging him in terms of popularity. Well, I certainly don't agree with the Epstein glazing and everything of that nature, but by any means, really. I'm a peasant. I'm on the street and eating dirt. I'm just saying, a tour of the Crystal Palace, it does... you know what I'm saying? It does jog the nog is all. I'm not here to sell out to against my interests, and I couldn't possibly because I couldn't live with myself under such circumstances. But, the fact of the matter is that, I was in the Fuentes group chats many years ago for several years, and there was no grand seasoning at the time. It's just something that it dances across the mind is all, really at the end of the day. I feel like there's an antenna being put out for me with these call outs and these shout outs, so just something I think about a little bit is all. I certainly could never promote Israel or anything of the sort because that's just something I can never do, but it is what it is. It's just I'll own up to that much. I was kind of seething a little bit earlier about the work I did that was unpaid for me from a few years ago, and that's neither here nor there, but, I'm not here to be jilted or predictable in that way. I've been working very hard and working lots of hours on my own, but, it's just like when the people who were, there with you for years and created what they had to say off of what you said to them are, worth millions and millions of dollars. And you're, got like years left to live. You're elderly senior citizen and eating dirt off the ground. It's a little brutal is all, frankly. I guess it would have been a betrayal of the principles or something, right? A betrayal of beliefs or something that, I went one way and someone else went. I mean, obviously, if you're working for someone else or whatever the case might be, it's you're not going to be able to be a free thinker, and that's just like Luffy says in One Piece. People are saying One Piece is heckin' woke, Reno, but Luffy says, be a free thinker above any. That's a book, and that's something that's not real, and my bills shooting up while the economy falls into free fall, and I'm supposed to keep on, nodding and smiling like just because Trump BTFO'd a couple of libtards once upon a time, it's supposed to be all good forever. Probably I'll just might be seething a little bit more. It does mean a lot to me to be culturally authentic. It's what I've prided myself on for many years. What also is true, let's just say, just for the record of everything, is that these men are worth millions and millions of dollars and live in palace and mansions, and I live in what appears to be, people don't even know. I've gotten Ubers to ride home, and they thought that it was somebody's garage. There's levels to it here, and obviously they've done a lot more work for a lot more years that I've never done. But it's just, and they're like, when I hear things of the nature that are something along the lines of, oh, Eggy, yeah, he told me everything I know. Man, it sure is great to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and Eggy told me everything I know. Anyways, whatever happened to that guy, who cares? Anyways, back to counting up my millions of dollars. I'm like, time to eat this dirt for dinner. What I need to do is just figure some other shit out that is not internet related. You know, it's like kind of call a spade a spade. It is what it is. But everything's going out of business. Companies are shutting down. I got fucking my payroll check bounced this week. There's a lot of things that have been racking the mind of those regards, and I just had a couple of beers, which then furtherly racks the mind to those regards. You know, it's been a little tough for me lately. I'll keep it real too. I'm just kind of in a keep it real mood today. You know, it is what it is. You never know when this channel can get wiped out, so why not just speak the truth while you've got the platform or whatever. With things like that, like, oh, we're concerned because Donald Trump cusses. I mean, like, where are we at here? You know, I get it. Obviously, like, in some perfect reality, that's not preferable. But, you know, we're chomping at the bit here. We're really down to the wire here. You know, we're in a complete disrepair in every aspect. You know, it's like, yeah, that's true. That's very fair. But, you know, it's like. We're coming to the last stop right now. Okay, things have to be figured out, and some very strong things are going to need to happen that are not maybe going to be so great for some people. But I'm not for the Iran war, obviously, or anything like that. It's just, you know, we have sort of a laying out on the table here of the fact that whatever you want to say, there's some people who are very pro. The current political administration, they're very locked in with them, very hand in hand, and they feel like it's a bit of a sensational thing going on, you know, with these Epstein files and all that. This is what I've been working towards for the majority of my adult life at this point. Well, yeah, I mean. Really, when did I start, you know, reading things like the Protocols of the Elders of Zion? 2010, 2011. So let's say about 15 years or so. I've been knowing about the inner workings of the financial control and the political control and so on that have been very disagreeable to me personally. And, you know, I've been very particular in that sense since then. And we've reached a point where there's a bit of an open window into the proclivities of the ruling class and what they engage in, where it's very disagreeable to actually the majority of the populace's sensibilities. So, you know, at this point, it's kind of like a thing where, well, I get where you're coming from, but, you know, you've been holding my head underwater and drowning me for essentially almost the last 20 years, really. When I get a chance to take a breath, I'm not going to say, hey, behave yourself. I'm doing something else. Something a little bit stronger. Something a little bit more defensible to myself, though ever be it. Maybe the lesson is Donald Trump will not save you. Okay, that's agreeable. No one but one can, and he was on the cross. That's fair. Well, you know, now that I think about it logically, type of moment, you know, let me stop being strangled first, and I would be more than happy to, you know, sit at the round table and think, you know, in a logical sense. But to be honest, it's just kind of that's where I'm at. You know, as I said, you know, I'm not particularly. It was never particularly my interest with, you know, some of these internet happenings. I kind of let them do their thing and I do my thing. But, you know, there's, what do they say? Sign of the times, desperate measures, something along those lines. You know, it's like fundamental aspects of society that I grew up with are completely removed. It's free-for-all, feral animal, rioting, death, murder, torture, everywhere. And it is very significant to where it comes into contact with me almost every single day. And I think that is one of the differences for me. I mean, it is what it is. I had to grow up and I couldn't, you know, live in somebody else's basement for my entire life, where maybe I could be a cozy neat for those things going on. It's just where I'm at now. I have to go and I have to pay certain bills and I have to go to certain institutions and this and that. And there's people being shanked to death, shootings and burnings and lootings. Like I said, not every single day, but certainly weekly I contend with these things, and maybe multiple times per week, and I'm supposed to be in one of the safest, nicest places in the world. It's just that far widespread and that commonplace in the modern day. So it's more difficult for me now to maintain such a previously removed position from some of these things that do occur. And so it's something I'm contending with. Like I haven't been contending with it very well today. It's one of those things. It was kind of a combination of things. So like I don't know. I'm really trying to not see it anymore. We're about to do this rap, and I feel good about it. But like last week, I didn't get I get a TTS check every week that I stream, and I didn't get one last week. So then I was calling them like, oh well, I don't know. Like the bank is all staffed by like Indians and AI bots and drug dealers, and there's no way to get any kind of. Finally, after like hours on the phone, I got. Oh yeah, we were gonna send it, but we got high, bro, and blah blah blah, and all this shit. And I'm like, well, okay, so it's sent now. Oh yeah, dude, we're figuring it out, bro. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. That's just that's just really a few things here for the money, but that's whatever. It's just small stuff, no big deal. So like over the weekend, it was Valentine's weekend last weekend, so yes, I do have a significant other in my life, and so that was unfortunate, but I worked, ran the cogs, like okay, we don't have to spend a lot of money, kept it cheap, but also I was more of a from the heart than a spend money thing, so it was all right. But that was okay because bank holiday on Monday, Tuesday, then I'm getting paid my paycheck, and then I get the notification. It was like 10:59 a.m. We were gonna go out for breakfast that morning, or more like a brunch, I guess, and to kind of make up for I was whatever. And they got, oh, we had a no, you're good, Grippy. It's YouTube's hating on it. Then that was a Tuesday morning, and it's like, oh well. We had a payroll processing error, so it might be 3 days, it might be another week and I'm like sitting there. Like I said, I mean, I got savings and everything like that. It's fine, but I'm sitting there. I'm just like, is it over? Like they're talking about fucking bombing Iran, and I have two different banks failing in 3 days. I'm like, I'm like ah. Then crypto came. I got my crypto and got some slashed little crypto out of the vault that was good, but it's not even. But it's just to see the degradation of institutions, And to be honest, and yes, I do have a lot of free chicken meals, so it's like I got all that. Hey, this is all free meals right here. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Not to flex, but and that's where I go to my mom, where I'm like, oh, I'm getting shouted out by rich, famous people, and. And they're like, oh, I wonder where that Eggy guy's at nowadays. And I'm over here like, I'm fighting on the phone for 5.5 hours on a Saturday morning at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm calling fucking Indians on the phone for 5 hours to complain because I didn't get $100 in super chat money because I was gonna fucking families getting exactly. My fucking mother getting scammed by Indians for birthday supplies on my sister's birthday. Like, it's so inconsequential, but these fucking rats, these fucking rodents, this scum, these snakes, these vermin, these bottom-feeding fucking scam fucks! It's not even something so big, it's little, tiny, little this, and it builds. And it builds. You understand? It builds, is what I'm saying. And that's where the black pill reactivates, okay? The black pill is reactivating because when I was young, when it was 2014, and I asked out this girl, asking out 20 girls a day, 30 girls a day, 40 girls a day, and I got into this familiar pattern of rejection. Okay, well, I knew that was coming. And then another week goes by, and then it's 100 rejections, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 9,000, 1, 12, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and it keeps building up, and I'm like, wow, are you fucking serious right now? And that, that's what it was then, and now I'm going and I'm saying, oh, the bank went out of business again, and the grocery store has no food on the fucking shelves again, and my mother wants fucking glittery sparkle fucking banners for my sister's birthday, and these fucking Chinese motherfuckers and these Indian motherfuckers can't find 5 fucking seconds to make 10 cents worth of glitter paper and they're scamming for 10 cents worth of glitter paper, and they're fucking up the birthday. What do I gotta draw this shit myself? Well, I can't because the fucking glitter glue is from fucking China too, and they're fucking scamming too. And then I go to the fucking business, and they're out of business. My fucking hometown, half the shit went out of business this last 6 months because there's no motherfuckers can't fucking afford shit anymore. Okay, this isn't because I want to sit next to Nick Fuentes on a fucking live stream. It's because I said some stupid fucking shit on 4chan 15 years ago that people decided was worth listening to for another 15 fucking years. And now I'm sitting over here and fucking Indians are scamming me for $5 fucking when all I want is a goddamn can of soup.